Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq, with daily insight on the Nasdaq-100 index, or the NDX, which is made up of 100 of the largest domestic and international non-financial innovative companies listed on Nasdaq. The NDX has been the barometer for U.S. large cap growth and also one of the best performing indexes over the last decade and a half, not to mention one of the most liquid index ecosystems in the world. Joining me this Monday afternoon, we have Chris Dearborn, Managing Director on Nasdaq's Market Intelligence Desk, for an update on technical levels to watch in the Nasdaq-100. Chris, before we get there, though, it is worth mentioning that it's been quite the start for the week. Nasdaq-100, you have Tesla hitting the $1 trillion market cap mark, as well as we have a big week in earnings.
Absolutely. It's a lot of stock-specific news, but right now it seems like we're on a streak for higher highs that began here in October. So for week over week, the index is doing very well, and we are coming into the meat of the earnings season, as you said, with 5 of the largest tech companies reporting this week.
Right. And Chris, the market has responded well to financial earnings, but I think as we get into the next couple of weeks here with Nasdaq 100 companies, as well as other consumer names and so forth, those that really have the exposure to supply chain constraints, I think that's really going to be the key in terms of direction. So with that said, let's take a look at your first chart here with some fresh levels to watch. Absolutely.
So if you look at the chart, there's a couple of items I want to point out. First, when the index sold off back at the end of September into the beginning of October on inflation fears and a number of other items there, including real estate issues out of China and a few other items, the Fibonacci retracement level of 76.4 was a big support level for the index. We did penetrate that. That's the gray line on the chart going across and sits at 14,581. We did hold that on a closing basis, even though we did break the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average, which isn't as much at a technical level, but more of something to be aware of. And what we've done since then is put in a number of higher highs off of that low, moving back up to the target of the 52-week high, which was made back in early September of 15,700. Now, if you look at the bottom of the chart, the relative strength index has corresponded with that move up. We're trading at about a 60 handle right now. Remember, 70 is overbought, 30 is oversold. We did hit that 30 level back in early October, signaling an oversold condition, which means that the sellers are starting to wane into the index, which means buying is starting to increase, and the index is performed in kind, rallying up significantly for the month.
All right. And Chris, if we take a look at the last chart here, the individual constituents that are leading to performance today.
Right. So you absolutely mentioned Tesla, big news out there for the stock. Also an analyst upgrade today, giving it 91 points to the index, or 11% up on the day for the stock. NVIDIA and PayPal are also running. PayPal with the M&A news, saying they're not going to go forward with it. And then on the flip side, detractors, you have Amazon, Microsoft, and Pepsi all off, less than 0.5%, and that's only detracting a handful of percentage points. When you look at the index as a whole, you've got over 70 names that are positive and less than 30 names that are negative.
All right, Chris, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.